Hello there, welcome to the water cycle. I'm going to start off by telling you all about evaporation.
Evaporation is when water changes from a liquid to a gas. Water turns into vapor when heat energy is applied from the sun and brings up its temperature to 100 degrees.
Oh really, I never knew that.
Yes, this is how it works. Thanks for listening. Now I am going to pass it on to Asia to tell you a little more about how evaporation works.
Hello.
Thank you,
Avery.
Today's topic
What
is
is
evaporation.
evaporation?
What is evaporation? Evaporation is a substance in a liquid to state a gaseous due to a change in temperatures.
Thanks. Now I'm here to talk about condensation and how it works. Condensation is that water that collects as droplets on a cold surface when humid air is contacted with it. This means that when your glass has that water on the outside of it, this is called condensation.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So how does it work in general?
Alright, let me explain. So as that air rises, it can't hold that much water vapor. The cooled water vapor becomes liquid again, so it's really just a process called condensation. But those tiny drops collect around those dust particles, forming those clouds or fog. So when you see fog outside, it's from condensation.
Okay, that makes total sense. Thank you.
Thanks, Ellie. Now I'll be telling you my point of view of condensation. Today I would like to tell you about condensation and how it works in the water cycle.
Oh, I see.
Oh, that makes sense.
Alright, I'll be right back, I need to use the bathroom. Okay, I'm back, please continue.
Condensation is the change of state of a matter of water vapor into a liquid phase.
Oh no, my phone is ringing. My bad.
So, when condensation begins, there is a cloud full of water vapor. Once the air inside of it turns warm and touches the water vapor turns into water droplets and, well, that's about all I got to say about condensation.
Thanks, course. Now it's time to talk about precipitation. After water evaporated and condense, it precipitate. The way precipitation works is when the much water gathers into the cloud that the air currents can no longer carry it.
That's how precipitation works. Now here's Kaya talk more about precipitation.
Thank you, Carson. I will be talking to you guys more about precipitation. Today's topic is on precipitation. After the condensation process, the water droplets get too heavy in the cloud and to the point where the cloud can't hold all of it anymore.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I really like that.
Hold on, there is still more to learn. Once there is enough water in the clouds, it falls to the earth in either rain, hail, sleet, or snow.
Wow, that's even cooler.
I know, right?
That's what is in the precipitation process. Thank you for watching my animation about precipitation. Now here's Queen Amy Brown with more. Thanks, Kaya.
Precipitation by Queen Amy Brown.
The main forms of precipitation are rain, hail, sleet and snow.
Precipitation only comes down when it condenses to the atmosphere.
Thank you, and now here's Paige for snowfall.
Thanks, Amy. Now I'm going to teach you some things about snow in the mountains. The snow that falls in the mountains can stay there frozen for a very long time. Eventually the snow will create layers, turning the bottom into ice by the press in the air. The snow can either turn into water vapor and return to the clouds for another run, or it can stay ice or even glaciers for many years. I hope you learned something. See ya later.
Now for the second round of explaining glaciers. Glaciers are massive sheets of ice that have been building up for thousands of years. They are constantly moving and changing. How are glaciers formed? Well, the snowfall on mountains may stay frozen for many years before it melts, as shown in the top of the diagram. Layers of snow will build up over time, and the pressure of the topmost snow will slowly turn the lower layers of snow into ice, as shown in the rest of the diagram. Over thousands of years, layers of glacial ice build up and up and up until you are left with one solid block that remains frozen as your glacier. As the lower layers of a glacier melt, the glacier will slowly move along, collecting anything from boulders to trees as they are in the path, and depositing them elsewhere. Now there is the question of how this has a part in the water cycle. Glaciers hold fresh water in storage, so most of the water won't re-enter the water cycle for a period of time. Glaciers are always coming and going. The water from the glaciers can be released back into the water cycle by the gradual melting of the ice, or by a process called sublimation. Sublimation is the process of turning a solid directly into a gas. In this case, the glacial ice turns into water vapor. So that is how glaciers are formed and affect the water cycle. Up next is Keandra talking about runoff.
Thanks, Allison, and now I'm going to talk to you about runoff. Oh hey, runoff is a lot of water that flows along the ground, which is called runoff. The water flows to rivers, lakes, and even oceans, and now here's Jaden with estuaries.
Estuary.
Estuaries are where fresh water fresh from rivers and saltwater from the oceans mix to form moderately salty or brackish water. Here you go, Chelsea.
Marshes, and their significance to the water cycle. Marshes are low-lying, treeless areas of wetland. They are usually potted with water for at least a portion of the year, and may contain either fresh or salt water. Now on to Hope, with more information on marshes.
Thanks, Chelsea. This is the other part of marshes. Marshes are low-lying, treeless areas. Marshes may have fresh water or salt water. Grass, cattails and other plants grow there. The marsh is covered in water for part of the year. Now here is Ethan with swamps.
Thanks, Hope. Today's topic is swamps like marshes.
Swamps can be fresh water or salt water. They are like low-lying areas that are mostly covered in water. They may contain trees and shrubs. Now here's Alex with deserts.
Thanks, Ethan. Now today I will be talking about deserts. Did you know that you can usually find a desert behind a mountain? The air oozes moisture and blows over the mountain, and then the desert gets some of the water. Here's Rawley with more facts about deserts.
Thanks, Alex. Now I will be telling you more about deserts.
When a cloud passes over a mountain, it loses most of its precipitation.
So when the cloud comes down over the desert, it hardly rains.
That is how deserts stay dry. Most deserts are found
Now here's
behind
Rachel
mountains.
with
groundwater.
Thanks, Rawley. This slide is about groundwater. Groundwater is an underground stream from rain, ice and snow. As we can see here, the water soaks into the ground through soil, sands, and gravel to rush back to rivers, lakes, and oceans. Underwater wells can get water from the streams back to the larger bodies of water. Well, that's all I have for you, but here is Larissa.
Thanks, Rachel. Today's topic is groundwater.
What is groundwater? Question mark. Groundwater is water that is found underground in the cracks and spaces in sand, gravel and rocksit. It is stored in and moves slowly through geologic formations called aquifers. Groundwater supplies water that is drinkable, and 51% of U.S. uses it.
So that's all I have for today. Next up is Cameron. Thanks, Larissa. Now my topic is water returning back into the ocean. I'm very excited to show you how water returns back to the ocean through the rivers in many places.
You go, dude.
This shows a river flowing into an ocean. This is because the groundwater has gone up to the river. The groundwater flows up and out of the river back into the ocean, then it is free. The water is released into the ocean to start the cycle over again. Thank you for listening to our version of the water cycle.